Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media. It is sunny today, which is great for the mental faculties, but not great for videoing. So I had to like close my curtains a little bit because there was like, well, there's a little dappling of sun here, but it was like way brighter. Even the bushes weren't blocking it. I really need excuse me, sorry. I have bushes right in front of my window and they need to be trimmed down there, but I don't want to ask my husband to do it because almost every time he works in the yard he ends up getting poison ivy. So, you know. Alright, I said I was going to start working on a journal with these pages, these painty papers for this mixed media play. So I have a Reader's Digest cover that I just have a bunch of covers that I took out the book block. The book block is that big block of pages that's in a book, which then have signatures in each, you know. So anyway, I already took that out. So I'll figure out the spine. I'll probably put, I kind of just I go simple usually, like whatever's easiest. Either put a piece of fabric on the inside here just to reinforce the spine or whatever. The outside's pretty good. If I want to cover this part, I can. But this is like navy blue and a brownie orange, which I don't mind. But it's too perfect. So I've got this drop paper here, and it's got some oranges and burgundies and whatnot like right here. So I kind of want to use some of that on here. And this is just paper bag that I use for drop paper on my book. I mean on my desk. And then I like to use that. Sometimes you can get some really cool pieces. It does have like a fold right here, which doesn't matter. I can leave it with the fold in, or I could tear it on the fold depending on what I want to do with it. I might just go ahead and tear it right on the fold, because then it gives me a straightish edge, and I could just come in. I might even just come in from this side maybe. I don't like what's happening there, but I like everything else. So, and it just adds a little bit to the covers. Whether I could do it either way. I could do it in between or on the edges. I don't know exactly yet what I want to do, but I think that, and I think also, since you know we're mixed mediaing, let's go ahead and add a little bit of gesso on here. I still want the orange to show through, and I want some of the pattern to show through. So I don't want to do a ton. I just kind of want to grunge it up a little bit, you know what I mean? So I'm probably going to take my nice big brush. You can use it. A lot of times I'll use like an old brush for this, like that has like all wonk, you know, not great bristles. But this one works too. So I'm dipping it in the paint, taking a lot of the paint off because I just kind of want to dry brush it, but I especially want to get like the edges, because then when I come in and ink the edges, it'll pick up on that a little bit differently too. So just dry brushing on there. It's just pushing back that oh, sorry, the chocolate's there. Forgot I had that. Sorry if you're triggered by food. I just stuck it in my mouth. I'm not actually eating it. How do I know people are triggered by food? Well, I have food issues, so I'm not usually triggered by other people. Or if I am, I'm not going to blame other people for my issues, but you know, they can talk about what they want. But I know some people do get triggered. So, you know. There we go. You still see the pattern really well, but it's pushed back. I might put a piece of fabric on this part, so I'm not too worried about that. But I don't mind. I mean, it's just words. I mean, it doesn't matter if that's not what's in the book. So I'm gonna let that dry, and I shall be back. I should go wash this too. I put it on fairly thin, so I didn't even have to use my heat gun. I will be making a community post pretty soon, drawing for the second drawing for the July postcard play. There were some extra postcards for people that didn't win, and also there are about 7 people that have not responded. So you have until you have like, you know, 1 or 2 more days to get, if you've been like, oh yeah, I gotta send Darcy my address. Well, you know, you're gonna run out of time. It's not an open-ended, I'm gonna wait forever for you to respond. Just saying. All right, I'm using archival. If I didn't use archival, I could possibly get some interesting effects, but but usually when I ink, I like to ink with archival ink because, you know, I want it to stay there. And then that's gonna just darken up the white a little bit. Still have it white in some spots, but you know, grunge it up a little bit. So there's what it's looking like now. I might come in and do some mark making too. We'll see. Let's see. I don't need the gesso. I need my papers. So do I like this? I like this one on the front because it has more orange in it. So I'm just gonna glue that down with, she says, but I saw this. I know this is not really a lacy project, but this fell out when I was I don't know, when I was moving my chair, looking for something, it fell out anyway. So then I was like, well, what if? So I kind of want that edge to show still too. And how far would I want that to come out? Do we want lace? I mean, I know it's not really a lacy project, but that doesn't mean you couldn't stick some lace in there for fun. Kind of a big piece for the cover though, unless I were to put it here. And then could even come out this way maybe. No. Alright. Not that piece anyway. I'm not saying you can't do any lace, but we're going kind of grungy. Alright, I'm going to ink. Alright, I'm going to say alright 10 more times. It's not really going to show much, I know, but I could use a darker ink too, but just ink it now because I won't be able to ink it once it's glued down. And what will I use to glue it? Oh, this one you can see better because there's like a whitish gray there. Oh, maybe I want to do that on this side too then. Oh yeah, now it's a little bit less gray, a little more brown. I like that better. I like it better. I like this little way. Since this is just paper, I think I'm just going to use art glitter glue. If I was worried about it, I might use Fabri-Tac. But we're not going to worry about it. I'm just going to use a good amount of art glitter glue to glue it down. Get all the way to the edges here. The edges are the most important. Whoops. Apparently I'm going to get glue everywhere. This is another way you could get texture too. You could use your glue for texture. And you might want just a tiny bit of that edge showing, I think. Oh yeah, I like it with a tiny bit of the edge showing. I don't think that's enough to go around the edge there. Not and stay. We'll try it. Could have come down more on it, and then it might have. But I'd rather do that than cut it off, because it would just look nicer coming around the mountain. Coming around the mountain, she comes. Shady coming around the mountain, she comes. See, and that has changed the whole vibe of the journal now. Alright, so this one, we'll just glue the whole thing and go around the edges like we did, and we'll leave a little bit of a whatchamacallit, a little bit of a, is it border? Is that what I called it? A little bit of the cover showing on the other, on both, you know, on the other side. Those are the words that are trying to come out of my face. Now, for this, it wouldn't have been a bad idea to take off the metal and then glue it. Oh yeah, because there's some orange right there, so yeah, I like that. I left that like that. Go ahead and just glue the edge of that page right there, the edge of the cover, so hopefully it will stay really nicely. So I'm just gluing, oh, am I? I am. Right here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I don't know if I'll be covering the inside with anything or not, but it's okay if that shows like that. So now the book cover has been transformed into something else. I still might do more to it, but that's a start. And the woman has, there we go. I was pausing in my brain because I wanted to find the cover to the glue because I was actually remembering to put it on. So there's that. It's not finished, but it's a start. So now I can start thinking about, I usually do 3 signatures in this kind of a book because it's just easier. Because then when I do my, so like, when I do like a little template, is that tall enough? Yeah. So I'll do a template that will be the width of that and the height of that. I don't worry about perfection. Well, yeah, that's alright. I still am going to get what I want here, for even if it's not cut perfectly. Alright, then it's gonna go there. Because then I'm gonna fold that into the middle. Fold that, you know, the long way. And then fold that into the middle. If you cut it straight, you'll probably be happier. And then fold this into the middle. See, like, now I don't know exactly where it is, but as long as it's about the same width, that's what I'm going for. So now I have my lines. And then I fold it in half to get my middle. This is for doing my, putting in my journal pages. And about 1 inch from the bottom. Am I going to do 5? I think I might do 5. So there we go. Got it all folded. So those are my lines. That's my template. And those are my lines for my signatures. Once I don't even have my signatures together. I've got some papers out and about. And I'm going to do a hidden spine. So I'm going to get a piece of chipboard, which I have some already. And so like this is like from the back of a notepad. That's thick enough for me. So that I will, you know, measure a little bit better. So for that, I kind of want it to be the width of where this fold comes in, so that it will sit right in there. And then a piece of fabric will go on top of it. I'm still not measuring though, you know. I'm just gonna take a pen or a pencil or whatever and mark it, and then use my cutter so it gets straight. That's all there is to that. So marked it on that line. I'm gonna cut it on that line. And I might need to, I missed the line. I didn't cut it on that line. I cut it a little beyond that line. That was, I mean, it ends up being, what is that? 1.5 inches? Just about in a tick. There, now I did the line. And for height, it's going to go right about there. If it's a little bit shorter, a little bit taller, that's not a big deal. Oh, well, as long as it's not taller. If it's taller, I would just cut it down a little bit. So ideally, this should fit right in here. So, yep, perfectly. Good. I wouldn't even be mad about it if it was a little tiny bit short, as long as it doesn't go over. Like, I'd rather see a little bit of that blue than not. So, this is what I'm going to be sewing my signatures into, and I'm going to put a piece of fabric over it. Let me go find some fabric. I've got options, probably too many options. I like denim, so I was thinking denim, and I pulled out the denim that I have gel plate printed on before, so it's nice and grungy if I choose like this side of it, especially. Ooh, kind of like that bit right there. Like, I mean, a lot of it won't show. Or I could take this piece is a little bit more plain. And then I've got this piece too, which has got a lot of green on it. I've used fabric paints at some point just to play with on the gel plate, and you don't have to use fabric paints. But you know, some denim or cloth on a Gel plate print. I don't know, gel plate is fun. It gives you fun textures, just saying. And then this is a piece of canvas duck cloth. That also does. So it's got some reds, oranges, greens. Let's see. That has kind of like all the, is that tall enough if I do it this way? Ooh, it is. So I could do a piece of that. And also I've got like, you know, regular fabric. Thought this one would be nice because it has all the colors in it. Also this one, so it's not quite as grungy, but not a lot of it's going to show either, but it has the colors. I also was thinking flannel because this is kind of a fall journal, but that doesn't really quite work. This works really well just as a neutral. It is almost the same color as the papers in the background, so that would look really nice. So far that's my top. And then I have this one that I painted at some point, which also has all the colors in the journal, or some plain Osnaburg would also work. This, I guess since we're going for that mixed media feel, I might actually go with this. I also have this Tim Holtz fabric and this Tim Holtz fabric. Yeah, I think it's between these two. I could even double layer it. I could have this kind of stick out from there. And that could be kind of cool. I mean, why not double up the fabric? Okay. How tall do I need this to be? And which piece do I want? Do we want to get all... I think I definitely want some that has the brown and some turquoise. Alright, I'm going to cut off this folded bit down here and I'm just going to rip. Because that folded bit will kind of get in the way. And don't worry about that too much. So height wise, it can stick out a little bit. I'd rather go big than go too small here. So we've got our height, and then width wise, I kind of want at least about 1/2 inch to 1 inch on either side, so probably right about to about there. And then the other one will just be slightly height wise, it's already there. And then I'll just fold it on this fold. I mean, I'll fold it on the fold, I'll tear it on the fold. Oh my word. Alright, and then I will move this out of my way. Now I will use Fabri-Tac and glue these on here. She says she'll use Fabri-Tac. Will she be able to get the cover off? Well, time will tell. Do you guys have to sit here and wait? Nope, there it goes. Okay. Alright, let's put it on its side so it can start moving and grooving. Alright, this one's going on first. Alright, I do kind of want that upside right though, because, you know, sometimes there are things that will bother you. And I mean, I know it's background, and I know I've said you could put things upside down in the background, but this is different. Just saying. This would be a good place to put lace too if I wanted to put some lace in, or I could put lace on a page or in the journals. I know it doesn't really feel like a journal for lace, but oh, you know, this is moving slowly. Alright, I've got a good amount on there, and then I am going to take my silicone brush and just spread it out. And place it in the middle-ish. I mean, as middle as I can. The front and the back aren't really going to show at the exact same times anyway. I do want my, stretch out my fabric here if we do this. Just got to remember when I put this in the book, when I do my signatures, to make sure that lettering is upside right. Alright, now we are pretty much here. Going to do the same thing just on the I'm going to go a little bit further out too, just so that the fabric I'm adding will stay put in most of the areas. Is that the piece no, this is the piece. Oh my goodness, scared myself for a second there. There we go. So once that's dry, I am going to put my holes in here with my template. Where do the holes go? Remember I made all those folds? Well, now we're going to take those folds and make marks with a pen or pencil or whatever. Or you can go ahead and just, you don't have to make the marks, you can just go ahead and poke into them. But where it crosses, you know, like right there, and where the folds cross, that's where the dots go. Oh, there should be a middle one here too. There it is. My signature, my things are not going to show on the outside, so I'm not too concerned. And once that's dry, I will poke the holes in. You may or may not see that part, and put my signatures in. But right now we need pages. And so let's figure out the size of our pages. I had some, where it is. Alright, so this is how I'm gonna just figure it out from, I want them to be about almost as tall as this book. Alright, let's go this way, that makes more sense. Okay. So I'm going to come just below this here. So we're going to cut it there, and I'm going to fold it here. Right here is where the edge of that book is. So my pages won't be any bigger than what this is once I cut it down. Ha ha. And stuff's falling. Shocker. Shocker not. Alright, that other bird's tail is going to get cut off a little bit. Alright, you're in my way. Why you got to be in my way? Alright, that is the edge. I was like, I have my line here, but I wasn't sure if I had the edge. Alright. Fit that right up to the top. And there we go. And I could cut this off, or I could fold it over to be a pocket. And I guess I could fold it this way. So now it can be a side pocket. So now this is my template for my pages. Isn't this pretty? And so some of you will be very happy. I'm not going to use any digitals, so this just needs to get cut off. You know what, if I want to line those up a little bit, I could just cut off, I'll have like or I could have a bigger strip. I'm making way too much out of this. Let's just cut it right there. Alright, I'll cut my pages down to the right size and then I'll be back. I will save these strips because I may be able to use them in the journal somewhere. Well, I'll save them unless they fly all over. I only had to take off just a smidgen off of these pages. And some of these pages are double and some are not. And then some of these I've cut so that I can make them a page in the journal. I just don't know for sure if I want to do the whole thing or not. So, I'm using painty papers, scrapbook pages, and I've got some book pages here as well, which are very fall themed and old and really cool. So I thought they might be fun to add into here. I know some people don't understand why I use children's book pages, but I do it because I like them. They just make me happy to look at, and I like fall, so you know. And I will probably do it more like take a page out like this and fold this over so that I will add a page on here, and that way I don't have to, I'll just fold over whatever I need to. Where's my template one? There we go. Unless I'm able to cut it off without losing too much. Or I could have folded it over a little bit more too. Let's see what happens over. Oh yeah, I could just fold it over as far as I need to, because I'm not as long as I'm not folding into someone's face, I'm good. I don't need to keep the words. I can put a pocket down there. I like it for the pictures. So This is cardstock, so this could be like the cover of one of the signatures. I'm doing 3 signatures. And then these are, I did these in my Sizzix. Like, I had an old one. Now I have a motorized one, but I used to have an old one. And I put leaves in there, and I just squished the leaves onto the paper. And so that's just leaf juice. Doesn't smell bad or anything, but it did turn brown over time. And I like this hole, because I'll put like a decorative paper right behind that, which, or, you know, something that will show through there that will look cool, and hopefully it won't rip too much more. So I thought these could be the other 2 signatures. So there's our 3 signatures, and it's got tons of pages. Plenty of, these are some of my scraps. They got mixed in with my papers that I had. Whoops. Whoops, but not whoops. Oh yeah, here we go. So I've got, I cut down some music page. I've got enough for all 3 signatures. So that's one thing that I do have enough for all 3. This one I kept, because it was attached, so I kept that one attached. So I'll put that one in the middle. And these 2 I separated, and then I figured, because I've got pages that I need to add on to something, so I'm just going to fold those to the width and have one side be, you know, more of a half a page, and those will go in the 1st and 3rd signature. There we go. Okay. Now, like this is an example of a page that I would need to add to another page. So I could either just add it on to this one, which would then could make that a pocket, or I can fold it, because I left a little bit of space on there, and make it a page to add a page, like I did with that one, except for maybe do it this way this time. And just remember that I want to add something to this side. Did I cut that one down? I think I might have. It goes this way though. And I wouldn't want to necessarily cover. Oh, that works. Alright, I'm going to glue that right there. So I'm just going to glue that page onto this page, which I just folded over. Oops. And just making sure I don't go over the fold, because otherwise it will get stuck in the signature and be kind of annoying. And, well, that messed up a little bit. Alright, I'm going to lay it down here and fold it over like that, and then it'll be more straight. If you want it straight. Straight is not the end all be all. And I do have that a little bit long. So I'm just going to fold that over, which will make it a nicer edge on this side. And I may just add to it to make it a pocket, or put something on there to flip out. I don't know yet. We'll see. Alright, so we have a colorful page in there. Let's go ahead and stick a colorful page in here. And put the cover on our glue. It's always nice to put a cover in your glue. Alright, that's not bad through there. It's not quite long enough. Let's try this one, see if it's longer. Yeah, I like that showing through there. I'm going to put this one in the last signature for now. I reserve the right to move things around. Just when things are getting in my way. Yeah, as I was making the ephemera yesterday, I was just like, you know what? I really would like to have more. So my roller. Okay, I just need to take a little bit off the bottom of this. Sometimes I'll use my ruler. I don't always use. I don't really want to lose the bait. I like the number on the bottom. Just need, but I didn't want to take too much off the top because we got the dad's head. So we'll just go. There we go. Did not have to lose any of his hat or anything. And I could just turn that fold around if I want him to show. Easy peasy. A little bit wide, but that's okay. And we have this, was already folded, otherwise I would have left it, I would have folded it differently. Go ahead and stick this one in here. And then just fold that in. Had the markings there anyway. Would have needed to get, or I could cut them off and then use them as strips somewhere. But if I fold them, I can make that decision later. Alright, here's another piece of cardstock. It kind of goes this direction, but it doesn't have to. I don't think I like the number sideways though, so what I could do, make it a bottom pocket and cut off the top. I need to cut off right at, oh, I want to lose half the 3 anyway. Where was the line? There. I know, I just tore all that so perfectly. You know what? Yeah, I'll think about it. I might tear it. We'll see. You can do that. It's alright. So I'm going to fold it this way. And then I'm going to cut off this piece here. Because I just don't want that getting in the way. So that can still be a pocket, and I can attach something here. Because I got plenty of things to attach, just saying. I think I want that to show, so. Well, that's not bad. That brings some of the, there's a tiny bit of orange there. Alright, that works. Just gonna go ahead and attach a page here. So the pages I'm using, there aren't any digitals. I can't promise that none of the focal points will be digitals. Because I have a lot of focal points that are printed from my printer. That are essentially, why every time does this do this to me? You know, fold it and then put your paper on. If you want it to be straight. Otherwise, it's just never straight. I don't know why. There we go. Well, still doesn't seem straight. I don't know if it's how I folded it or what, but I won't worry about it too much. I'm just gonna, that's cool, okay. Just gonna put it in there like that and probably come in on this just a little bit so it doesn't get stuck up in the fold there. I already have a Tim Holtz in the middle, so let's put this one in one of the other ones. I mean, we could even, no, put it in here somewhere. Oh, and still need to add something to this. Alright, add that there. Could add more. I will add some plain papers in between because you do want a place for your eye to rest. I mean, I do. You don't have to. You do you, boo. You do what makes you happy. And I like to leave some places for my eye to rest. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so far, and a couple of them are cardstock, so we want to remember that. So we probably only want 8 to 10, maybe 10 pages if you're going to have some cardstock pieces in there. We got one more piece of Tim Holtz here. And that's got the bugs, which, you know, kind of goes with this, sort of. And I fold it right along that line, pretty much, for the most part. That feels like the right width. Here we go. Yeah, but if I was going to fold over a part, I'd want to fold over the bugs and not lose all the plant over here. So I think what I'm going to do is just cut this off so I can use it somewhere else. I don't need that many sides. I want to add my own pockets, so, you know, I'm not cutting it straight. It's okay. Oh, and yes, you can add a crooked page in there, here or there, or wherever. What do I mean by a crooked page? I mean, you could take one of these and just kind of go like that and stick it in there. And it makes for an interesting piece in the journal. Just saying. Ooh, this is a pretty piece too. Just adds for an interesting piece. Alright, let me get 2 more of these. Oh, one with the dad, one with the mom. Oh, they're playing with their toys. Oh, I like this little girl here too, Alice. She's super sweet. Do need to tear off the top or the... Where'd my ruler go? I had a ruler. I know I did. Could use scissors, could use a ruler, could use a cutter. Ooh, and this gorgeous paper is from my friend Sharyl. She calls it confetti paper. She was going to show us how she made it, but I don't think she has yet. But if she does, then, you know, someday in the future I'll try to remember to link it down below, because it's cool. Cool, cool, cool. It's very cool paper. I need to know how she makes it. But she sent me some, so, you know, my need's not quite so strong as it would be if she hadn't sent me some. Just saying. It's just gorgeous. It's just... I think she puts confetti on it when it's wet, when she's coffee dyeing it. I think is how she makes it. But all right, I was thinking about putting this in one of the signatures. I could even put it in the center of a signature, and then if I don't want the things to show, then I could put it closed and then just cut here to make it a pocket like that, which is kind of a cool idea. So yeah, I think I will put that in at least one of the signatures. Where's the other one? I think the other one won't fit in a signature quite so well. Alright, so I can stick these in here somewhere. So sometimes I like to have just like a smaller piece. I'm trying to think of the order that I want to put these and how they'll look best in the journal. Alright, and this is the journal. I think I definitely have enough, because you don't want, when you put your pages in, you gotta remember you're gonna add stuff, so you don't want it to be too squishy. But I will kind of make sure that they're kind of evenly distributed before I make my final decision. And that squishes down nicely, so that's good. So if we open this, that looks nice. I don't like that on the outside, after all. In the back, maybe that one on the back. So yeah, might go in that order. All right, let me count these real quick. So I have about 9 pages in each signature, which is fine. It's fine. Doesn't have to be an even number. I'm not insane. You don't have to be insane to want to have everything be an even number. But I might add some tip-ins and tip-outs, so I don't really want to go too much farther than that. So 3 signatures. We have our template and our thing. It should be dry now. There we go. So I'm going to poke my holes into this using my template. I'm going to do it from the back so that I can see exactly where it is I need to do this. And that's why this book has so many holes in it. So So as you know, I did not, oh, hold on. I need to center this into the middle. And so I'm just going to line it up at the top there. Because, you know me, I didn't make this perfectly straight. So when I do this, alright, I'm actually going to measure. I'm going to measure. So I just marked the center because it's about 1.5 inches, so that's the 3/4 inch mark, and that way I can make sure that the center of this is in the middle and line up the top. Or you can, you know, make your thing straight to begin with. You know, cut it instead of rip it. Then you won't have that problem. So I'm just going here where the folds cross. I just find the folding technique to be so much easier than measuring. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when I measure, things don't go right. It's like I have a measuring deficiency. I know that there are other people out there that have the same issue, like when they measure things. I don't think I put that dot on the right place. And it's not going to show on the outside, so I'm not too concerned. And I did 5. Let's see. Just going to make sure that these all went all the way through the fabric. Be careful of your fingers when you do that. And this is not my regular, this one has like a much wider thing on the end here. It's not my regular pokey tool. I don't know where my regular pokey tool went. So I'm just trying to make sure my holes are big enough, but not so big. I can see them from this side at least. Alright, and then I've got my thread and so we're going to do about 3 times the height. A little bit more, just for good measure. I'm not worried. It's not like the string is super expensive. This is just linen thread. It's not waxed. Sometimes I will wax it. It depends on if the wax is easily... The wax thread I have is much thicker. And you know, it's pretty strong. I have like pulled and pulled on this thread to make sure. So I just take my beeswax, which is all dusty. It's all, you know, it sits in a drawer, but all those little lines, and I just kind of pull it through like that. So now it's waxed. It just goes through the pages easier. You don't have to wax it. I don't know if it strengthens it at all. I mean, it feels stronger after you do it, I'll tell you. So I am going to start, where's the top? This is the way the letters go. So I'm going to start with the front signature and just start from the top. Coming in from the outside because I'm going to be tying it on the outside. I could start the top, the middle, the bottom. It doesn't matter. And oh, you know, it would also help if I put my holes in my signatures. Oh, also I need to take my bone folder and crease all my edges. It'll sit better if you do that. And what do I mean by that? I mean, like, take a bone folder or something like a bone folder or whatever, and you take all your pages. We'll pretend this is a bone folder. We can pretend this is a bone folder, and you're just gonna press those edges down. Bone folder's easier. Oh, it's right here where it's supposed to be. Maybe not have the string under there. And you just go like this with all your pages, and then they have a nice crease that just kind of flattens them out a little bit more. It makes your signature lay better. So I'm going to do that with all these, and then I'm going to take my template and just kind of fold it so I can see where my dots are, and I'm going to center it in here a little bit up. So I know this is my top, and I do want all my pages to go in the same, so I am going to mark where I center this, as in this line here, and that line there. So when I do the other ones, my things will be the same. So, well, it would have been better to do that on the part that's going to show. So putting a little line there and a little line there, just so that I center it the same on each one. And then where that dot is, and that dot, and that dot, and that dot, and that dot are, I'm just going to make a little dot in the middle. And that's where my holes will go. Is that my middle paper? No. So that was dumb. My middle paper now. No, it's not. Anyway, that's just so I can show you how I do that. I'm going to fold these and I'm going to put my holes through these, and I'll bind one of them with you guys, but not all of them. That's just long and tedious. And I did just notice that some of these pages that came out of another book have like kind of big spaces in here, so that could, and I've had them wet before, so they could be fairly fragile. So I am going to take a piece of washi and put it in there just to strengthen that spine, and I'll probably glue the washi down because I don't trust washi. Or if I don't, then it's my journal, so you know, I can always glue it later if it starts to come off. So yeah, these pages I am going to put washi to strengthen those. But I'm only putting washi on one side because I don't need to bulk it up. I just need to strengthen it. I don't need to strengthen on both sides. One side is enough. Now when I poke the holes in the signatures, I thought this was important to say, is I do kind of put up a clip on them to hold them, but you don't have to. So I don't do it like this. I fold it in as much as I can and try to make sure I go as straight as I can so that I come out the spine. Because if you don't have it folded like that, you're more apt to come out beside the spine, and you don't want that. So go in, go straight, kind of watch what you're doing so that you can come out through the spine. If you're not watching, you're more likely to miss the spine. So see, I'm coming out at the spine, fortunately. That's the important part. That was my first mistake when I made my first journal. That was the thing that went wrong, is I ended up with a couple of the holes that were on the side, on the outside signature. Alright, so like I said, this is a hidden spine, so I don't need to tie it on the inside. I'm going to tie it on the outside. So this is the back side. This is the front side. This is the part that's going to be showing. So I am going to come in through here. See, this is upside right. Yep. So this is upside right. You want to make sure all your pages are upside right the way you want them. Did I just come in the... Nope. That is it. Oh my word. Z, S. Okay. I'm trying to come in through the first. Alright, I'm coming in through the bottom. Yep, I'm coming in from the back side. That's right. Oh my word. I know. People make it look easy. It's not. It takes some thought and whatnot. So make sure you leave a tail. You don't want to be coming out the whole way. And then we're going to go in our bottom. Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes I have to go back through with my pokey tool and just kind of follow my needle back in through there if it doesn't come in through the center. It's a big pain. But that's, you know, it doesn't, not everything is going to happen perfectly every time. So you need to know that. And I'm going to go in through here, which means going in through the next hole, which is here. Yep, that's it. Oh my goodness. And sometimes your holes aren't quite big enough for your needle because you're using your bigger needle of the two. And so you might want to grab your needle nose pliers to pull that through. Oh good, it came through. I don't see my needle nose pliers. I'm doing this the way that I've seen Barbara do it. I'm just going to go back and forth through all the holes, going up and then go back and forth coming down. I think you're supposed to have even numbers for that, but I don't. And I'm going to be okay with that. It'll work. It'll work either way. Alright. So for the first signature, or it's a little bit easiest for the first signature. It's a little bit harder when you get to the last signature because you have less room for or the next two anyway. Alright, I've almost got through there. There we go. Kind of you know, make sure you go through the middle there. And if I can't find the hole, I just use my pokey tool to find the hole, or make the hole bigger if I have to. I don't really want to make the hole bigger. Like I said, tedious. This would like be horrible to have to watch all 3 signatures. But I think I'm helping you know that you're not going to get it perfect the first time every time, and that's okay. And how to, you know, how to get it right eventually. Alright, so now the important thing when going back through these holes, because now we're going to go back and forth the opposite way through the holes. You just want to make sure you don't split this thread. You don't want to go through this thread with your needle. Now I have a dull needle right now, so I'm less likely to go through the thread with my needle because it's a dull needle. But that doesn't, you know, that's not always for sure. You'll know if you went through the thread if you can't tighten your string at the end, and that's why you don't want to go through your thread. And like I said, using a dull needle does help a lot. It's just also mine needs just kind of bigger holes for the needle because where is I feel like, okay, there we go. I was worried that I hadn't gone through, that I had, no, I might have gone through the thread on this one. How do I know? Because I can't pull this one. Or it's through a different hole. One or the other. It's always something. Why won't that thread pull? Good question. That's the thread. No, that thread was pulling. And this, because this thread goes to there, that's why. Alright, so now I've got them all in there. So I'm going to take this last one and tie it together. Sometimes I will go through up here first and tie it up here, because it just, you know, makes sense to me. Just kind of makes it a little bit more. Make sure I have all my, make sure that's tight, make sure that's tight, and then tie this one, go in and double check, make sure that they're good and snug. It does have a little, I could tighten that a little bit. I can see that, okay. There we go. And then I usually do a triple knot because I don't trust my knots. Plus, that's kind of a big hole and I'm a little bit worried about that going back through, but that's okay because I don't have to cut my string super short. I can leave a little bit of length, and then when I glue all that down into the spine, that'll stay better. It'll be fine. Everything's fine. Alright, I'm going to do that with the next 2 signatures, and then I'll be back to show you, putting it into the journal. Quick tip, to keep this one from having to go through all the pages to find this last signature, I clipped this one just to get it out of my way so I can move it more easily. Where am I? I should be going through here now, right? Yep. And to avoid some of the bulk, every time, not every time, but feels like every time I miss the middle. Oh, I got the middle that time. Yay! So usually what I would do, but I didn't do it this time, so I just did the 2 front ones at the bottom and the last one at the top to keep it from bulking up. Oh, crap. To keep it from bulking up. I hate when that happens. I mean, it's not hard to it's a huge eye in the needle, so you would think it wouldn't be that hard to get the thread through, unless it's like, starting to fall apart. Then it might be hard. Alright, I'll show you what I mean in just a second. Also, you know, you might as well see everybody struggles. If you struggle putting a signature together, you're not alone. This is why I usually will like only make one journal at a time, right? Alright, so these two I started at the bottom, so they're tied at the bottom. This one I started at the top, so it'll be tied at the top, just to keep, you know, I mean, these string, if the string was thicker, it would make more of a difference. This string is not very thick, so it probably doesn't make much of a difference. But normally I would like do like these outside ones at the bottom and the middle one at the top. I just forgot to do it, and then I was like, oh yeah, I should do that. And usually I will take these off when I'm tying it so I don't get a false sense of security. But yeah, that did help doing that one. And one of these, at least, I did redo some of my pages because they were just a little bit bland. They were a little bit on the bland side. Alright, one way, pulling one way tightens it better than pulling the other way. So if you feel like you're not getting a good tight thing, just switch them in your hands. And that might be just what you need, because they pull better in one direction than another direction, depending on where the string is coming from is why. Because if you're pulling against where the string is coming from, what in the world? That's when you're going to have a problem. Yeah, I know how to tie. Well, there's wax on the thread. It feels weird. Just saying. Alright, triple, quadruple, whatever you need to do to make sure that it is all in there. And I should have double checked that before, but it's a little bit loose. Oh man. So what can I do? I don't know. I can just kind of pull on this, see if where the looseness is. Should have done that before I triple tied it. That's the problem. I'm just gonna pull them all to the, well, no, that's kind of, you know what? Can't really untie them now either. And I've already triple tied it. So when that happens, sometimes you just gotta cut it out and start over. Yep. Sometimes having it in there tight is more important than only doing it once. So yes, even I have to redo the binding sometimes. And so now you know. It doesn't matter how many journals you've made in your life, you might have to, oh shoot, they're not clipped together anymore. I forgot about that. Fingers crossed I will be able to redo that. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm going to redo that one. So that's why it's important after your first tie that you do to check the middle, because you don't want to have to redo it. You just don't. It's a pain. Because once it's glued in here, you can't go back in. That's the thing. Which is the next part, is gluing this into here. Which is why we wanted this piece here to fit nicely inside there. Now, if you want a hollow back, you just only glue the fabric. But I don't need a hollow back. And I've got, this is bendy enough that it'll give me a little bit of give. So I'm going to glue this in here with the Fabri-Tac, which is the stinky stuff. It's made by Beacon. If you don't have Fabri-Tac, any kind of fabric glue, the 3-in-1, anything like that is good. I'm going to start with this middle piece, get that tied down, glued down there. I'm still going to use my silicone. Alright, this is what's nice about this silicone thing, is once the glue dries, it just peels right off. So if I don't clean it, it's not that big a deal. I know I was talking about you don't should all over yourself yesterday, and that's with art. But with your tools, that's different. Oh, I'm also going to put some glue on here, on the spine itself, especially like where the strings are, because I just want that to adhere and stay really, really, really well. And getting it in there straight is important. Make sure I have it upside right is important. Make sure it comes up and folds is important. And I'm going to go down in between the signatures, and whoops, I'm moving it. There's a lot of glue in there, so it kind of slips and slides easily. I want to make sure that it I want to make sure that this is not showing, so that definitely needs to go down a little bit. There we go. All right, I'm going to press firmly to get that glue to adhere. And same here, I'm just going in between the signatures and pressing down. And on the outside of the signatures, press down. Make sure that's in there really good. Double check, make sure that the cardboard didn't come back out again. It does not appear to have done so. And now I'm going to, here's the problem. I didn't trim off these papers like I probably would have been a good idea to do so, but that's okay. They lay fairly flat once I get this part done. So I definitely want to at least glue out to here. I don't mind if this comes up a little bit. So I'm going to glue there, and part of the reason I spread this out is because of the fabric. I don't want like lines in my fabric, and spreading it out helps with that. So I'm just gonna press that firmly, pressing down in a firm motion, and gonna do that back here as well. And then we're gonna let it dry. There's not much else I can do today because it needs to dry. Get down in that corner there, make sure I've got glue everywhere, because I do not want this coming out. So, which is why it has to dry. And Fabri-Tac, you know, it's not an immediate drying thing like art glitter glue. So you do have to give it some time to dry. Press down into the thing again. Make sure it folds nicely. It does. And I'm just going to lay it out flat like this while it's drying. I don't know that that matters one way or the other, but there. Alright, and I'm going to leave that to dry. Do you want to look? We'll just flip through them real quick so you can see, because I don't think I showed you the pictures before. Real quick, because we're over an hour already. But, you know, it took me probably like 2 hours to put it together with all the... and then here, if I want to, I could go ahead and glue that closed and cut here, and that would be a little pocket. That was just an idea for a journal page. And these are just fun little flippy things, little just odd shaped pages, and then you can fold them if you want to, kind of make that a little tuck spot. I gotta clean up. Definitely need to put away my glue. See, now we have a little tiny little pocket there to put little tickets or something in, which will be fun. Clean off the glue off my thing. Put that away before it gets... so I'll attach a page to this. Some of them I left to attach pages later after I had the journal together. One of my favorite things is when it becomes a book. You know, it's officially a book now. It's not a bunch of pages in a pile. This book was 1953, by the way. That book that I used the pages from. I like to use that book. I got an antique store up, I think the Fairfield antique store up in Maine is where I got that book. But I'm not sure, because I go to a lot of antique stores all over, wherever I can. I've been to one in Maryland, a bunch in Massachusetts and Maine. I haven't really found Virginia. I don't know where there's antique stores. I gotta go down to Fredericksburg, because I think Helen, oh shoot, I missed, oh, that ripped further. In switching, no, I don't know what happened, but I had a page behind that for color, and now I don't. So I will probably put a side pocket there, or something, or that will have color showed through there. See, because it's interesting with the color. But we're embracing the rip, is what we're doing. So this, I might even just kind of like stick a tag, or maybe I could even like fold something like this around it like that, and then it could be like a pocket. It wouldn't be necessarily that deep, but you know what I'm trying to say. We'll see, because I usually go page by page in my journals and decorate them however it makes me happy. All right, we'll do this way, because just kind of glue in that bottom bit. And then that can become a little tuck. And it's not sticking out the bottom now. So I don't necessarily love how this page looks, but that's okay. We will do something to that to make us like it better. And there we go. There's still a little bit of green on this page showing from when I pressed. That was like 2020 or 2021 when I pressed those leaves in. So I'm really surprised there's still some green on there. And that is, it's still wet. I can feel it. It's cool. So I'm going to leave it here to dry. But for a second, I will close it because I need to take a picture. There is the start of a journal. We've got it made and we will decorate it some. I think it'll be fun now. We can decorate some pages, add some borders, do some fun stuff. I hope you all have a delightful day. Love you.